Hello and welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. So what's going on at the moment? Well, apart from our normal daily videos, and they carry on at 2 a day for lockdown, Simon's recently posted on Patreon his solve of a GM Puzzles Philomeno. This is behind the paywall, but well worth it. And this was a puzzle particularly recommended to us by GM Puzzles, and Philomeno, I think it's pronounced that way, not Filomeno, which I have also heard, is a very interesting puzzle type, and that is certainly worth a try and a watch. That's an interesting puzzle. So that's going on there. Now, this coming weekend is the UK Sudoku Championship. This is the one of two competitions run each year by the UK Puzzle Association for Sudoku. There is a face-to-face one that already happened, and this is the online version. Now, I think that the UK Puzzle Championship, or the UK Sudoku Championship in this case, differs slightly from most online competitions in that it's 2 hours rather than an hour and a half. So you need to set aside a certain amount of time. Once you download the password, you have 2 hours to complete the puzzles and make your entries. And then the time stops and nothing after that will be accepted. I think there's a schedule of some 16 or 17 puzzles on the list, and they are all pretty standard variations. So there's a thermo, a sandwich, a couple of classics, some of the very extra regions, things that we've done quite a lot on the channel are on the list. And I think anybody who's been following the channel and having a go at some of the puzzles would get some done. Now, it is the UK Sudoku Championship, but you are allowed to take part from anywhere. I think it is used as theoretically one of the qualifiers, although since the World Championship isn't happening this year, that may not apply. But the puzzles, I believe, this year are all set by Tom Collier and Sam Kappelman-Lyons, who are two of the best solvers in the UK and two of the best setters. Now, they obviously can't compete, so that keeps them out of the way for people like me to try and get near the top of the leaderboard for the UK, but we'll see if that transpires. Tom has recommended that we have a look at last year's first 4 puzzles, and I think very similar puzzles are going to be in this championship. By very similar, I mean very similar types. The UK has a tradition both of starting with some puzzles that are less than 9 by 9, and those always, I think, include a deficit and a surplus Sudoku, which are kind of mind-bending in that they play with the normal rules and they mess with you a bit. So I struggle a bit with those, but well, I'm going to have a go at the puzzles from last year's championship. Now I will, oh no, this might be 2018's championship. I think this is from 2 years ago. I will have done these at the time, but I won't remember them. That just doesn't happen. I don't remember solution paths for that length of time. So I'll be doing them as new today. And I'll post links to all 4 puzzles. There's a linked 6x6, a deficit and a surplus Sudoku. They're both 7x7. And the 8x8 puzzle is an odd, even, big, small. These are reasonably traditional types, all of them, but not types that we've featured much on the channel ever. So quite interesting solves and very good practice for the weekend competition. So I'll explain the rules as I go, although they're on the link, they're in the description under the video, but I will explain them as I go along, and we're going to start with this 6x6 linked Sudoku. So there's 2 grids. By the way, in almost no case will the software check function confirm correctly whether you've solved these. So either check against my own solutions or just test them thoroughly if you want to know if you got them right. Yeah, now these are 2 6x6 Sudokus with different shaped boxes, 1 to 6 in every row, column and marked region. But there are 2 puzzles, and the extra rule is that the corresponding cell in both grids can never be the same. That's it. And let's get cracking. So looking at this grid, I can immediately spot a kind of naked pair here of 2 and 6. And that means I can place 1 and 3 up there. Now that was a naked pair because 3 and 1 were in its row and 5 and 4 in its box. So that's relatively useful. In fact, we can finish off the other cells in the row straight away. That must be a 3, 5. You can see in the top of this grid, all the cells are in little pairs in the top. And does this grid disambiguate any of that? Not really. No, it doesn't actually. So the constraint, not very helpful yet, but I'm sure it'll come in. Now this is a naked single in this grid. 5, 1, 3 in the column, 2, 4 in the row. That sorts out that. It may be that we're just solving one grid here, and I'm lucky I started with the second one perhaps, and then moving to use it in solving the other. My goodness, this is coming out much more smoothly than I had expected. And okay, I can't, yes I can just finish it off. How bizarre, I didn't expect that. And there we go. Now, over in this grid, we can probably use that straight away. Yes, look, 5 here and 5 here. One of these must be a 5, but over here, one of those corresponding cells is a 5, so it must be the other one in this grid. I haven't found anything else quite as quickly and as useful as that, but that puts the 3 in this box up here. 2 must now be here because we need 2, 1, 6. And look, that 1 does actually resolve which way round they are. So this is a fairly straightforward opener. Okay, can't get much else. 5 in column 3 must be here now. And that's these cells. No, I don't know about 4 and 6. 1, 5, 4. Yes, lovely. This can't be a 2 because of this 2. So the 2 in row 4 in this first grid must be there. We can finish off the row. 1 and 3 there, yes, and the 1 again is being resolved from the other grid. We've got a 4, 6 pair left there. That must be 6 now. There's a 3 to finish the column. 4, 6 down here can't be in the bottom cell because of that 6. So we can put 6 in there, finish the box, finish the columns. Now we can do column 3. And that is a reasonably quick finish for the opening puzzle in the competition. Now I don't know, the points as far as I remember were suggestive that this one should take about 3 or 4 minutes. So we're not way ahead of the game from that. Now this one is the deficit Sudoku. So the rules are that every row and column has the numbers 1 to 7. That's normal. 1 to 7 is the population here. But the numbers cannot appear more than once in each marked region. And that means, because all the regions marked, apart from this little one, they're all 6 cells. So they're all missing 1 digit, which is so unusual, and it really messes with how you look at things. So normally you could look at this box and go, oh, where does the 4 go? It's got to be here. But there might not be a 4 in it. So this rule plays around a bit with what you're used to in Sudoku. So let's get cracking and see how to solve this. The skill in these puzzles, if there is one, it lies with asking the right questions all the time. And look, okay, here we go. Column 6. Where are you going to put a 5 in that? That's the right question. I've looked at 5s because there's 3 marked in the grid, and I've found somewhere where it really matters. These can't be a 5 because the rule is there can't be more than 1 in a region. This can't be 5 because each row and column has the numbers 5 to 7 once each. Same here. So 5 goes in here in this otherwise unmarked region that looks a bit like it's ready for sandwich clues or something, but it's not. Now, okay, that's a start, but what else? 5 in this row is in one of these 2 cells, but I don't know which one. Here, one of those 3. Ah, look, we know there's no 5 in this box now because there's 5s in these 3 columns. So this box must contain 1, 2, 4, 6, 3. So we can place the 1 actually there. 1, 2, 4, 6, 3 and 7. I forgot 7 because it doesn't appear anywhere in the grid, which is quite annoying. But we've got a 3, 6, 7 triple in that box. Now what else can we find? Okay, that is interesting. Where does 5 go in this row now? Yes, it must be here. It's the only place left. It can't be in this box with another 5. So that is not a 5. We can actually put a 5 in there. Can we finish off? Yeah, 1 5 to go in the grid. It's there. I nearly thought we'd run out of room. Ah, now this is interesting. Look, in this box, 4, 3, 5 in the box, 1, 2 in the column. This is a naked single, 7, first one in the grid, and that's a 6. Now we can finish the column with a 3 there, which had to be there because of that 4. That's not a 3 now. And here again, same naked pair again, 3, 5, 1 in the box, 4, 6 in the row. So that's a 7, 2. That fixes that 7. This is now 6. And now this puzzle is, you know, we've asked the right questions and it's kind of beginning to come apart. And as I say that, I get a bit stuck. That's 1 or 3. That's 1 or 2. 6 in this column has to be in the top because the 2 boxes which have other available digits have already got a 6. And then 2 in this column has to be here. Yeah, 7, 1, that's a 3. No 4 in this box. 7 there, that's a naked single now. 4, 6, 3 and 4 to place in column 6. 7 and 1 in row 2. And it really helps to concentrate on the rows and columns because they're not messing with you. They are playing fair in a way. So 3 there. Oops. 3 there. I forgot to use the mouse, as I always do. 7 there. 1 here. 2 and a 3. 2 there and 4. And I think that finishes the puzzle right. Now the check is probably going to be okay. It's probably going to say okay, but it's not really checking the constraint. If you put 2 in a box, I don't think it would notice. So that is the deficit surplus. Now the surplus Sudoku is the opposite, by which I mean that most of the regions are bigger than the numbers. So there are 7. It's 1 to 7 in each row and column again. But the rule now is that each region must, or each 8-cell region must have at least one of the digits 1 to 7. So this one's just an oddity, a single cell region in the middle. But here, they've got to have 1 to 7 in, but there will be one repeated digit. Now, it won't break the normal rules about being in rows and columns. They are still the numbers 1 to 7. And this is complex in a different way. So in a normal Sudoku, you might look at these 2 cells and go, aha, 1, 2, 3 in the box, 7, 5 in the row, they must be 4 and 6. That does not work here because they could have a repeat of 1, 2, or 3 in one of those. So again, it's a case of asking the right questions. Now, I don't know what they are, but we've got 3 6s. Oh, look, there's quite a tempting thing. You've got 1, 2, 3, blank, 5, 6, 7 on the diagonal. Now, I strongly recommend don't enter a 4 there because they're almost certainly messing with us and it won't be a 4. Anyway, that aside, okay, 6 on the bottom row must be in one of those 2 cells because all the others are ruled out by other 6s in their columns. 6 in this box. Well, you see, I'm going to pencil mark this, but in fact, it's not necessarily that it must be in one of those cells. It must be in one or both of those cells, which is weird, but that is how it works. 7, similarly here, must be in one or both of those. Oh, it's just, this box. Where's 7 going to go in here? There's got to be a 7 by the rules of this. It must appear at least once in the 8-cell cages. So those you can see are ruled out by this 7 and those. So we can place a 7 there. And then that works exactly the same onto this box. You've now got those cells all ruled out, and we can put a 7 there. Now there's 2 7s left to go. Not that one. We can put a 7 there and a 7 there. And there are all the 7s done. Now, there are also 3 6s given, but I wasn't getting very far with them. How about 3 1s? Yeah, where does 1 go in this shape? Actually, that's been available from the start. Must be here, because that one and that one's ruling out everything else. That puts the 1 in this shape there. Now, we've got 2 1s left to place again in this 4x4 box, so obviously 1 there and 1 there. And now this shape, we know the repeated number is a 1, but we don't know what else there is. Now in this row, 6 has to be in one of these 2 cells. So I'm going to pencil mark another 6 in there. And in this column, 6 has to be in one of those 2 cells. So it seems quite likely that's a 6, but it's not a logical thing, so I'm not putting it in. I'm not even sure that it's really helpful to know what's in the middle. Now, 5's ruled out of those 2, so the 5 in the top left box has to be in one of those. That's good. Look, that's knocking out those cells. So 5 goes in one of these, and then the 5 in this box now must be here, because a 5 in one of those rules out those 2 cells, that 5 rules out that one. Now, 5 in this top box, again, has to be in one of those 2, because this cell and this 5 are ruling out all of those 3. But I don't know in row 2, because you can have a repeat 5 somewhere. Ah, look, one of those and one of those is a 5. So the other 2 5s in the grid, there's one there. But where's the 5 in this column? In column 6? Because of these 2 pairs, those 2 are ruled out. That is ruled out by that, so 5 has to be here. Brilliant. That places this 5, and that is useful with our pencil marked 6 from before. 6 in the box must go there, so the middle is not a 6. So I'm glad I wasn't tempted by that. 6 goes there instead. That 2's a 2-4 pair. That's a 3-4 pair. One of those is 4. That's not all that helpful. Now we've got to do something, I think, with 6. Yeah, that's not 6 anymore. So 6 goes in the corner. And there's one more 6. That must be there. But we're going to have to start doing 4, 2 or 3 next. There's only one of each. Okay, that can't be 2. So one of these is a 2. That's not very helpful. It doesn't mean anything about those. 2 and 5 up there. In quite a few of these cases, we know that we've got 2, 3 and 4 as a triple, because we've already got the repeated number in the cage, in the box, I mean. So that one's not a 3, obviously. So 3 is up here. Yes, that is useful. In this box, 3 can't be there because it's there. So 3 must be there. I should stop calling them box and call them shapes, maybe. 3 being in one of those means those aren't a 3. So where's the 3 in this shape? It's got to be there. Now, that could still be a 4. We can't write in 2 and 4, but we know it's a little pair there. That could still be 3, but this completes its row and must be 4. Now we've got a 2, 3 pair down there. But this messes with your mind. The normal kind of eliminations don't work. This could be anything because that box has used everything once. Now 3 has to be in one of these 2, because in this box we haven't got room for a 3 in there. Now 3 is in one of those and one of those. So this is not a 3. One of these is a 3. Don't know if that helps. I can see a uniqueness play, but I don't want to use that. Wow, I think I should have finished this a while ago and I'm still struggling on. Right, in this row we've got a 2-4 pair. That's absolutely vital. So this is a 3. As weird as it looks to place a 3 with a 3 there, that is right. We've got 5 and 4 to place in those two, and 2 and 5 in those. But even that, I still don't really know what I'm doing. It can't be a 5 in those, so they're from 2, 3 and 4. Wow, I mean, there must be a way to just see this simply, and I can't find it. Why is this so hard? Oh, I'm sorry, you're shouting at the screen by now because something is totally obvious in this puzzle. These have to be 2, 4 and 5, yes. These have to be 2, 3 and 4. But I don't know which way around they have to be. What am I missing here? Good Lord, this is annoying. And I mean, now the time will really have run by and I'm wasting time on this puzzle in terms of trying to get them all done or anything in that region of aspiration. I cannot see how to logically conclude this. 2, 4 and 5 must be there. So 5's up there, but it's down there in one of those. 2, 3 and 4. That's 2 or 4. That's surely the only kind of distinguishing thing we have. I don't know. I just don't know how to disambiguate this. If that was a 2, that would be 4. Okay, if that was a 2, that would be 2. This would be 2. This would be 2. That'd be the only place for a 2 to be there. So that would be 5, 4. This would now be 2 in the middle. And the other 2, that would have to be 2 because this one can't be. And that works. Oh no, yeah. No, that doesn't work. Because this can't have a repeated 2 because it's already got a repeated 1. This can't be meant to be this complex. I'm clearly missing something, but I can now tell that this is not a 2. And I'm not sure why I did it that way round because that hasn't disambiguated anything. Let's try it. Okay, 2 is in one of those 2 cells and we've got a repeated number. So these are 4 and 5. That's how to do it. Ah, that's taken ridiculous length of time. There we go. So they're not 2. The 2 in that one is there. 4 there. That's 3, 4, 2. It is a 4 in the middle, which was what we were wondering at the start. That puzzle has taken me longer than I care to admit. But we are done with it now, and that's right. Now again, the check will say okay, but it's not checking the rule, the constraint. Oh no, in fact the check doesn't like it, but be assured that is still the right answer because the check is spotting numbers that are the same in boxes. In fact, you can tell the only things the check is finding wrong is 2 digits repeated in certain boxes, which is what we would expect. Right, I'm just starting the 4th puzzle again. It had a faulty marking. So, just to recap the rules, this is an 8x8 grid with 1 to 8 are in every row, column and marked box. Now the clues outside the grid, if they say small, that means that the first 2 numbers from that direction have to be small, which is in this case 1, 2, 3 or 4. Big is 5, 6, 7 or 8. Odd obviously 1, 3, 5 or 7, and even obviously 2, 4, 6 or 8. So in fact, let's get cracking. This is a good place to start here. This is small, and 1 and 2 are in the column already, so that has to be a 3, 4 pair. And this is useful. This is even, and it can see 2 and 6, and obviously now it can see 4 as well in some form, so that must be 8. And if we carry on down here, this could be 6 or 7 because it's big, but this can only be 6 because it's even, and we've only got 5, 6 and 7 to put in, so that sorts that out. We've got the whole column done. Now, short of seeing something else miraculous, let's just put in the other numbers. So that's a 2 or a 4 because that's even. That's 1, 3 or 4. This is big, 6 or 8. Even here, 2 or 8. Might as well go round and keep doing this. Even here is 2 or 8, and below it 2, 6 or 8. Small here, there's a 4 in the box. So 1, 2 there because of the 3 there. 1, 2, 3 in the other one. These are small, but they could be anything out of 2, 3 and 4. Odd here, that one's 1 or 3. This one is 1, 3 or 5. Big here, 5, 6 or 8, but here only 5 or 6. Even here, well, 4's gone, so 2 and 6 there. And look at this 2 and 8 pair that we've revealed now in row 7. So that gives us a 1 here. That fixes a 3 up here. So let's just get the, that makes this a 2. And that makes this a 4. So that's real progress, just feeding around the grid. In fact, that 2 has sorted out these 2 as well. We're really flying. 7 must be here because that 7 rules it out of this cell, which must be 8. That gives us a 5, 6 pair. That sorts this one out as a 1. Now this has started well. 4 and 3 there. That's 2, 5 or 6. No, it's not, because 2 and 6 are a pair there, so it's 5. And that sorts the other 2 pairs in the top row. Well, I mean, that progress around the grid has worked really beautifully. That one's not resolved. This one is 2, 6, 3, 7 and 5 to go in the row, and there's a 5 already in one of the boxes. That 2 looks at that. That's not 4. 1, 4, 8 down here. So 1, 8 there, 1, 4 there, 1, 4, 8. These are 3 and 7, but I don't know the order. 2 and 4 up here, don't know the order. 1 and 7 up here, guess what? Yes, I do know the order. That's what I was guessing. 1 and 7, excellent. 7, 5, 4. This one is 3 or 6. That's a little pattern of 4 cells in which the candidates are 2 each, but there's an even mix of them. Look, there's a naked pair there. That must be 5, 7 because of 6, 2, 3 in the column and 1, 4, 8 in the row. Don't know that that really helps. This one's 2 or 3. That's 2, 3 or 6. Yeah, it gets a bit stickier now. Maybe I'm just missing something. 7, 8, 6. So 4 is in one of these 2. 7. No, I don't know that it's in one of those 2. 2. No. What number is useful to look at? 6 must be in one of those. 1, 2, 5, 3, 4, 7. So 6 in one of those. 8. Is that a 6, 8 pair? It must be, I think. And that is looking useful because that 6, 8 is a pair with that one. So we've got 1, 4, 2, 3 to place across here. 1, 4 there. 3 or 4 there. 1, 2, 3 there. Anything here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, that's a 1, 3, 4 triple now in this box. 2, 7. So that's 5 or 8, and that's 5 or 6. And that's a 5, 6, 8 triple in this row. I honestly don't know whether I'm finding useful things or just things. 5, 6, 8, 7, 2. So that's 1 or 3. Yes, so 4 in this row now has to be here. How peculiar. Well, I'm going to trust the marking and that I've got it right. So that's not a 4. So 4, yeah, that resolves this 2-4 pair up here. I kind of found my way into that without really knowing how it happened, but there we go. Some subconscious level, I was asking the right questions as long as I did get it right. 2, 4, 7, 6, 5, 8. 1 must be in one of those two. I still haven't finished though. Ah, but where does 8 go along here? Yeah, it's got to be here, hasn't it? Maybe I should have been spotting that once I had the 6, 8 pair. 8, 4, 6. 2 is either there or there. Now, no, it's not. It could be there. Oh, look, there's a 1, 3 pair in this box. Yes, 2. Yes, so that's 2. Now that's going to give me one of these as a 2. That's 1, 3 or 7 now. That's 1, 3 or 5. So I've got candidates marked everywhere now. That's 2, 3 or 7. And I'm not sure that it's still particularly helping. Come on, I just need one more breakthrough and I am done, I think. 2 out of the corner. 1, 3, 4, 6, 8. 7 in this row again. 7 must be there. So that's a 5. That puts 5 here. Is that there? Yes, that gives this as an 8. That makes this a 6. That makes this a 5. I think we're getting there now. The 6, 8 pair has been resolved. That's not 8. That gives us a 1, 4 pair. That puts 8 there. This has become 3. That's a 1. That sorts out everything in that box. And everything on the left-hand side of the grid is now resolved. 2 there. Yeah, 3 and 1 here are done. That fixes that as a 3. Let's finish off down here. And we've just got 2 cells left. And that is an odd, even, big, small 8x8 puzzle. The check ought to work on this one, although it won't check all the outside clues. Yeah, that's fine. So there we go. Those are 4 quite interesting puzzles. There will be versions of those in this weekend's UK Sudoku competition, and do have a go at it. Whether you're from the UK or not, as I say, go to the UKPA forum. I'll provide a link. I think you may have to register to take part, but it's certainly worth it if you have 2 hours and a printer at the weekend. Thanks very much for watching. I hope to see you again soon on Cracking the Cryptic. Bye for now.